Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. The Mercury Turnpike Cruiser is a series of automobiles that were produced by the Mercury division of Ford for the 1957 and 1958 model years. Named to commemorate the creation of the interstate highway system, the Turnpike Cruiser was marketed as the flagship Mercury model line, slotted above the Montclair. The Turnpike Cruiser was produced as a two-door and a four-door hardtop sedan. During the 1957 model year, a convertible, called the Convertible Cruiser, was offered on a limited basis, serving as one of the first replica pace cars. Mercury fitted the Turnpike Cruiser with a wide variety of advanced features for the time of its production, including a retractable rear window, compound curve windshield, and a trip computer. In total, 23,268 examples of the Turnpike Cruiser were produced over 2 years. For 1959, Mercury discontinued the Turnpike Cruiser, phasing its content into the Parkline product line. The Turnpike Cruiser derives its name from the 1956 Mercury XM Turnpike Cruiser concept car, a two-door hardtop which largely served as a preview of the 1957 Mercury model line. For 1957, the Turnpike Cruiser was offered as the flagship Mercury model line. For 1958, the Turnpike Cruiser was phased into the Montclair line, sharing the flagship role with the newly introduced Parkline. The Turnpike Cruiser shared its rear-wheel drive chassis with the Monterey and Montclair, using a 122-inch wheelbase. Using body-on-frame construction, the front axle of the Turnpike Cruiser was fitted with independent ball-joint front suspension with coil springs. The live rear axle was fitted with leaf springs. 11-inch drum brakes were fitted to all four wheels. For 1957, the Turnpike Cruiser was fitted with a 368 cubic inch V8, producing 290 horsepower. Sharing its name with the car, the 290 horsepower engine was offered as an option across the rest of the Mercury line. For 1958, two all-new Marauder engines were introduced. The standard engine, shared with the Montclair and Colony Park, was a 383 cubic inch V8, producing 330 horsepower. A 430 cubic inch version, shared with the Parkline, produced 360 horsepower. As a special order option, a triple carburetor Super Marauder version of the 430 V8 produced 400 horsepower. Exclusive to Mercury, the Super Marauder was the first factory-produced engine with a 400 horsepower output. During its production, the Turnpike Cruiser was offered as a two-door and four-door hardtop. To serve as the pace car for the 1957 Indianapolis 500, a convertible was created, named the Convertible Cruiser, leading Mercury to offer a version for sale. Effectively one of the first replica pace cars, the Convertible Cruiser was offered in a single yellow, sun-glitter, exterior color and were fitted with the optional Continental tire kit. While sharing much of its body with the Montclair, the Turnpike Cruiser was distinguished by several exterior design features. Although not legalized across the entire United States until 1958, quad headlamps were fitted as standard equipment, the only 1957 Mercury to do so, as well as one of very few cars from that year to be equipped as such. For states that still allowed the use of single headlights only, the Turnpike Cruiser also used the then standard singles setup. In place of contrasting paint, the scalloped tail fins were gold anodized. Distinguished by its retractable breezeway rear window, the Turnpike Cruiser received a separate roof line, along with a windshield curving into the roof. The windshield was among the first to use tint to reduce solar glare. As a consequence of the compound curved design of the windshield, Mercury added rooftop ventilation intakes to the Turnpike Cruiser to cover a body seam. In a secondary function, each intake also housed a radio antenna. Coupled with the retractable rear window, the Turnpike Cruiser was among the first cars to offer flow-through ventilation. Air conditioning and power side windows were additional cost options. For 1958, the Turnpike Cruiser adapted the styling changes of the Montclair and Monterey, shifting the grilles into the front bumper. The rear fascia multiple changes, as the gold anodized trim was removed from the scalloped fins, rocket-style taillamps were added. To distinguish the model line from the Montclair and Parkline, The Turnpike Cruiser was given gold trim for its badging, including the Mercury M Grill badge. The interior of the Turnpike Cruiser offered several features distinct from other Mercury sedans. To aid forward visibility, a flat-top deep-dish steering wheel was fitted, to match the curve of the instrument panel. Alongside a tachometer, to measure engine efficiency, the instrument panel was fitted with a clock to calculate average speed and a trip odometer, effectively, a trip computer. One of the first memory seats, Seat-O-Matic, was programmable and moved down and back when the ignition was off. While not equipped with cruise control, in 1958, the Turnpike Cruiser, alongside all Mercurys, was introduced with a programmable speed warning, setting off a warning if a preset speed was exceeded. The Turnpike Cruiser standardized several Mercury safety features, including a padded dashboard, and dashboard gauges, a deep dish flat-top steering wheel, and safety door locks. Seatbelts were optional, alongside a safety harness for children. Nearly 10 years before their introduction, the design of the taillamps performed as side marker lamps.